Statue of Zeus, in Olympia, Greece, one of the seven wonders of the world. The statue is one of two masterpieces by the Greek sculptor Phidias, the other being the statue of Athena in the Parthenon, and is housed in the massive temple of Zeus at Olympia in western Greece. The statue, nearly 12 meters 40 feet high and plated in gold and ivory, represents the deity seated on an elaborate cedar wood throne decorated with ebony, ivory, gold, and precious stones. In his outstretched right hand is a statue of Nike victory, and in the god's left hand is a scepter on which an eagle is perched. The statue, which took 8 years to build, is renowned for the majesty and divine goodness it expresses. The discovery of the remains of Phidias' workshop at Olympia in the 1950s confirms the statue's date to around 430 BC. Constantinople, now Istanbul, some 50 years later. One. The statue of Zeus at Olympia is a giant seated figure, about 12.4 meters 41 feet tall, created by the Greek sculptor Phidias around 435 BC in the sanctuary of Olympia, Greece, and erected at the temple of Zeus there. Zeus was the ancient Greek god of heaven and thunder, who ruled as king of the gods of Mount Olympus. The statue is a chryselephantine statue of ivory plates and gold panels on a wooden frame. Zeus sat on a painted cedar wood throne decorated with ebony, ivory, gold, and precious stones. It was one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. The statue was lost and destroyed in the 5th century AD. Details of its shape are known only from ancient Greek descriptions and representations on coins. Two. Brief history. The statue of Zeus was commissioned by the Hellenes, custodians of the Olympics, in the second half of the 5th century BC for the newly built temple of Zeus. Looking to beat their Athenian rivals, Hellene hires the sculptor Phidias, who previously made a large statue of Athena Parthenos at the Parthenon. The statue occupies half the width of the temple aisle, which was built to accommodate it. The geographer Strabo noted as early as the 1st century BC that the statue gave the impression that if Zeus rose and stood tall, he would open the roof of the temple. Zeus is a chryselephantine statue, crafted with ivory and gold panels on a wooden substructure. No copies in marble or bronze have survived, although there are recognizable but only approximate versions on nearby Elis coins and on Roman coins and engraved gems. According to geographers, the 2nd century geographer and traveler, Pausanias, left a detailed description. The statue is crowned with a wreath sculpted from olive spray and wears a gilded robe made of glass and engraved with animals and lilies. In his right hand he holds a chrysanthemum-colored statue with the crown of Nike, the goddess of victory. His left scepter is studded with metal, supporting an eagle. The throne features painted figures and wrought figures and is decorated with gold, precious stones, ebony, and ivory. Seer's golden sandals are placed on a footstool decorated with Amazonomachy reliefs. The section under the throne is bounded by a painted sail. Pausanias also relates that the statue was continuously coated with olive oil to counter the harmful effects on ivory caused by the swamp of the Altus forest. The floor in front of the picture is paved with black tiles and surrounded by a raised marble edging to contain the oil. This reservoir functions as a reflecting pool which doubles the height of the statue. According to Roman historians. According to the Roman historian Livy, the Roman general Aemilius Paulus, victorious over Macedonian, saw the statue and was moved to his soul, as if he had seen a god in person, whereas 1st century AD Greek orator Dio Chrysostom stated that at first glance the statue would make a person forget all his worldly problems. Romans seated Zeus, marble and bronze restored following the type erected by Phidias Hermitage Museum, St. Petersburg. According to one legend, when Phidias was asked what inspired him, did he climb Mount Olympus to see Zeus, or if Zeus came down from Olympus so that Phidias could see him, the artist replied that he described Zeus according to Book 1, verses 528 to 530 of Homer's Iliad. The sculptor is also said to have immortalized Pantarchs, the winner of the men's wrestling branch at the 86th Olympics, who is referred to as his lover, Romanos, by carving Pantarch's kalos, beautiful Pantarchs, into Zeus' little finger, and by placing a relief of a boy, the man who crowned himself, at the foot of the statue. According to Pausanias, when the drawing was sufficiently completed, Phidias prayed to the god to indicate with a sign whether the work was to his liking. Immediately, running the legend, lightning fell on the part of the floor where until recently a bronze jar stood to cover the place. Five. Loss and destruction of statues. According to the Roman historian Suetonius, the Roman Emperor Caligula ordered that statues of the gods such as those so renowned for their sanctity or artistic value, including Jupiter at Olympia, should be brought from Greece, to behead them and put theirs in their place. Before this could happen, the emperor was assassinated in AD 41. His death is thought to have been foretold by the statue, which suddenly burst into laughter so that the scaffolding fell and the workers stood up. In AD 391, the Roman Emperor Christian Theodosius I forbade participation in pagan cults and closed temples. The sanctuary at Olympia is no longer in use. The state of the statue's destruction is unknown. The 11th century Byzantine historian Georgios Kedronos has a tradition that he was taken to Constantinople, where he was destroyed in a great fire at the Palace of Lossus, in 475 CE. Alternatively, the statue was destroyed along with the temple, which was badly damaged by a fire in 425 CE, but earlier loss or damage is implied by Lucian of Samosata in the late 2nd century AD, who refers to him in Timon: "They have laid your hands on Olympia, my lord High Thunderer, and you don't have the energy to wake the dogs or call the neighbors. Of course they might come to the rescue and catch the men before they finish packing the loot." That's 5 brief history of the statue of Zeus taken from Wikipedia.com. Hope it is useful. Thank you.